Tell me a little bit about when you got there. I know the relationship you have with Coach Bielema, but when you got there, kind of the transition with your offense and when you just kind of hit the ground running there.
Yeah, I think it was something that came about through the opportunity to be here and be the coordinator came about just through my previous experience with Coach and working for him for 5 years and kind of understanding how he operates and what his foundational belief is as far as a head football coach, what he wanted his offenses to look like. I think he knew that the offenses that I was coordinating at UTSA had an element there that involved running the football and trying to be physical, starting with the run. And so at the end of the day, when Coach offered me the opportunity, I think there was a lot of familiarity on both parties of what to expect and what's expected of you, kind of a both two-way street in that regard.
When you looked at the pieces when you got there, what did you kind of project? Did you project kind of what we're seeing right now and being a team that just can run over a lot of people and be physical and not allow many sacks up front? Did you see that with that offensive line?
Well, I think not really. I mean, I think I didn't try to form an opinion really a whole lot based on, number one, there was a lot of turnover in the offensive line room, a lot of new faces. There was not a lot of proven players at receiver. And obviously one of the things that was one of the mainstays, or one of the things you knew you could kind of count on, was there was some running back production that was coming back, both with Chase and with Josh McCray. And so the rest of that really was kind of, to be quite frank, like, I think even halfway through the point, I think we're just now kind of finding our identity and our stride about exactly who we are. But I've been real pleased with the offensive line and how they've gelled together. I thought leaving the spring that the strength of our team was the offensive line, and that's proven to be true halfway through the year for us.
Is that just a thing with Coach Bielema? He's able to develop guys quickly. I mean, it seems with him, you get a year in his system, and he changes your body, your mindset, and just the way you attack.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's just the structure from top to bottom with starting with Coach B and the emphasis he puts on the trenches, and most head coaches do, but Coach B has a unique way of getting the best out of every position, but uniquely the lines and most particularly the offensive line, he's just really passionate about and spends a lot of time with them, recruiting them, talking about them, making sure they understand how important their play is. So I think it starts there, and then you got to give a lot of credit to Bart Miller and the support staff that he has around him, of the way that Bart handles himself and coaches and gets the best out of them. He's got a great rapport with them, and he absolutely gets the best out of that group. And so then it goes to the strength training and conditioning and nutrition and all the things that it goes to program development. And we pay special attention to that group, and it pays dividends for us.
So is the offensive line still sitting in first class on charter trips?
Well, I think if we had first class seats, then I think, yes, they would be. I know that's something that he always did. And I think through COVID and the transition, travel's changed a lot for college football over the last few years. And so, but we're treated in a first class manner. I can promise you that with the offensive line play. They get to eat first a lot. I know that.
So how would you describe your offense? What do you call your offense? I've seen it called several different things.
One thing that happened when Coach B, when we were talking in the transition, was, I'd kind of mentioned that it was kind of a hybrid between a pro style and a little bit of a tempo, and the word tempo was something that I had thrown out, like not to try to name the offense or but more to paint a picture of what we're trying to get done. Like we're trying to do pro style, football from the standpoint of we're trying to run the ball, with tight end surfaces, sometimes 2-3-man surfaces, and doing it just with a little bit of no huddle, a little pace. And so it was just something in passing I'd said to him, but it's not anything that we talk about around here at all. What we really try to do is try to be good on offense and try to be, we want our name of our offense. We want to be called good, and we want to be able to move the ball and complement and play complementary football with our defense and our special teams. That doesn't mean we're trying to sit on the ball and, churn out 18. We had 2 15-play drives against Minnesota. That's not intentional. I mean, we're not we're not sitting around going, hey, we really want to churn a 14-play drive out here. I mean, it just so happened to be that that's how it's happened a little bit. And when you have the back that we have and the line that you have, there's a certain level of patience I think that you naturally have, because you have confidence. If you keep doing it, something good's going to happen in the run game, and that's held true to this point.
How special is Chase Brown?
He's really special, obviously, to on all fronts. I mean, it's just, you can't say enough about him. I mean, you just can't. He's well-rounded as a player. He's well-rounded as an individual. He's got intelligence. He's got character. He's talented. I mean, he's like a coach's dream. And man, he just gives you everything he's got. And he's certainly led us offensively. And we've got a lot of people that have contributed to his success around him, on the field, the way the wideouts have blocked, the tight ends, the way Tommy has played to complement, the run game and obviously the line play. So it's taken a complete effort for us to be put in the situation we're in, for him to have the production that he's had, but he's earned a lot of it on his own with his ability to break tackles and run after contact, and to be elusive and shifty. And so he is the complete package, in my opinion.
Is he the best running back in the country?
I don't know that. I know he's one of them. I don't know if he's the best. I don't know if you can even measure that, to be honest with you. I mean, I think that's all so subjective. I know that Chase Brown is an elite player. And if he's not the best, he's one of the best in the country. That's for sure. He's an elite company when it comes to that. And we're glad we have him. And, we're wanting he needs to have another big day on Saturday. It'll be a challenge each week. It's going to become more and more of a challenge, more and more focus on the run game. And so, we're hoping that we can get another nice day out of him on Saturday.
How do you handle that as a coach when you hear people like me saying Heisman around him?
Well, I think that number one, the first thing that comes to my mind, or not comes to my mind, but I think that everybody inside this program has a great sense of pride when when you read those things and you hear those things. And obviously, some of the things are coming internally here from the way we're handling that from a marketing standpoint, which is so well deserved, I think that's really fantastic what we're doing, like just with the chasing history and the website and the graphics. I mean, it's phenomenal and it's so well deserved. And I think everybody on this team understands that they have a hand in that. Our defensive guys, our defensive scout team guys, our offensive players, our special teams, it's a team game. And so I think there's a great sense of pride within the entire organization of the attention that he's getting, because I think they know, number one, they do contribute to that. Number two, the more success we have, the more attention he gets. So and that's all a good thing for the University of Illinois.
When you look ahead to just for your future, I know a lot of coaches want to be head coaches. Is that something you want to be, later down the line yourself on the college level, or what are your aspirations beyond being a coordinator?
That's, I don't know. I mean, I would like to be, yes, I do know. I would like to be a head coach, but those jobs, they're hard to get. And I know that always the best way to advance in this profession is to do the best job that you can do possibly in the place that you're at. And to be honest with you, that's really my focus is to try to put our best foot forward to help us to continue to, maybe peak down the stretch offensively. I don't think we've had our full stride yet. We've had some moments. We haven't been as consistent as I would like for us to. But I do know this, working for Coach B, he's got a tremendous track record of development of not just players, but coaches that have gone on to be head coaches. And he's really good. He's gifted as a leader. And there's a lot of things that he does that that I could learn from, that I have learned from, that would help prepare me, just like I have from everybody else that I've worked for and under over the years. But ultimately the end game for me would be able to get an opportunity to lead a program. And I have full faith and confidence that, if that's something that's a part of the plan that God has for me in my life, that'll come to fruition at some point, but I certainly can't control when that is.
What about your colleague on the other side, Ryan Walters? I mean, his defense is number one in the country in a lot of categories. It's really phenomenal what he's done there in the build. I mean, rarely do you see two coordinators being discussed on those levels, but you've got that going on in Illinois this season.
Well, Ryan and the staff over there, they're phenomenal. And I mean, it's interesting. Our quarterbacks, we talk about it all the time. I mean, our scheme is kind of unique, what we do defensively. and it creates a great challenge, and it creates a great challenge for a quarterback and a coordinator. And you see that, to be honest with you, come to life on Saturdays, that our defense is a unique challenge, and going against them in the spring and the fall, it's like it as frustrating as it was, and challenge as it was, I think it was really good for us to go against such a quality outfit, both from a coaching standpoint and a talent standpoint. And so I just can't say enough about what Ryan has done. I've never met Ryan or never knew Ryan until I started working with him. And from day one, since I've been here, he has been a great friend to me, and somebody that I have a lot of respect for in our relationship. And that's obviously it's awesome to see the way they're playing, and obviously makes it easy as an offensive coordinator. Not easy, but it it's a good thing when you're so good defensively, when you know that if you take care of the ball and don't do things that cost you to win games, you're going to have a chance to win a game in the fourth quarter because of how well they play.
Transfer portal obviously gives a lot of second chances, but Tommy DeVito went through the mud at Syracuse at times, and now him being there experiencing that success. What kind of quarterback is he for that offense, and how critical has he been in this turnaround?
Well, Brandon, I've been really impressed, weekly by him, and just as I continue to get to know him, I thought it was a great get by Coach Bielema and staff to go recruit Tommy, and to, I think you see this happen a lot, right, across college football. I think this is one of the positives about the portal, is that it gives a young man who maybe his trajectory of his career at the place that he was at previously was not going in the right direction. And because of different circumstances, different timing, a different surrounding, a different offense, a new fresh lease on football career, whatever it may be, right? That you see those players, kind of have breakout seasons. And I think that's what we're seeing here with Tommy is somebody that's obviously very talented, who's played a lot of football, and, was just seeking a change for himself, in a new scenery and a new university, and found a place that ended up being a really good fit for it. So we're glad to have him.
I wanted to go back just for the layman who's watching or listening to this.
Excuse me. Sorry.
Yeah, just to the layman that's watching or listening to this. What's different between your offense at UTSA a year ago to what we see on game days at Illinois this year?
Well, we're in year one here of the offense, and last year we were in year two. It probably looks a lot like year one did for us at UTSA, as we kind of learned, the system. I'm not saying the system is that unique or that hard to learn. It's not. It's just, you're going to be different between 1 and 2 if you have a lot of returning players in the years, because you're the familiarity and the building blocks. And, in between one, for example, the last year I was at UTSA, our ceiling was at this notch, right? Well, then the next year, year two, that was really the floor for us as we move forward. And so this year, as we go into halfway down we're down the stretch run here in year one, even though our guys know the system, and we know, like, we're just experiencing games and situations within the system, which just helps you grow and become better and better. And so I think, it probably looks a little bit different than it did in my last year at UTSA, but formationally, strategy wise, and the scheme wise, all the same stuff is there. We're just maybe doing it at times in a different look, and we've got a back and a running game that's really strong. It's a very similar recipe that we had at UTSA. We ran the ball very well. Sincere McCormick was our running back down there for 2 years. He carried a big load for us and was a big part of our success there, just like Chase and the running back crew's been here.
My last thing, what concerns you about going to Nebraska, where obviously they're on hard times, got an interim head coach right now, but the fans are going to show up, the kids are going to play hard, and they have taken some teams down to the stretch, including even Michigan last season, which won the Big Ten.
Yeah, I mean, I think the first thing that concerns you is you're going on the road in a Big Ten, which that's difficult, that's challenging. It's not altogether new for us and for our players, but nonetheless, that's a challenge. Probably will be at this point, probably the most hostile environment that we played in. I think we prepared ourselves for that, but even that moment, when you get in there and feel that, it'll be different. They've got good players, they've got good coaches. So it's a quality, opponent, just like you would expect in the Big Ten. And then when you go on the road, you better cinch up. You better be tightened up and play a clean game, because that road does matter. Being on the road is a challenge. But at the end of the day, we want to focus on what we can control. We can't control how loud it is, how many people show up, what their level of play is. We can control the way we play. and our challenge is to continue to put our best foot forward and play the best brand of Illinois football that we possibly can.